exist. How could that be possible? I came to Virginia 24 years ago to work at Monticello, so I'm a big Jefferson fan. I've read a lot of his stuff, and when you read that stuff, it inspires you to think that, hey, he was a guy that came out and said, you have rights. Everybody has rights, and it took a long time for everybody to get rights, and we're still fighting those things. But when I worked at Poplar Forest, another Thomas Jefferson house, we took down the scaffold twice. Once for Lech Wałęsa came, and if anybody remembers Lech Wałęsa, kind of an important person. He drove all the way down to Lynchburg to see this partially constructed building because he was such a Jefferson fan. Mikhail Gorbachev also came the same year for the same reason, that they read his documents and his inspiration and said, you know what, people do have rights. So I think sometimes in this country we need to reinvigorate ourselves, as we're doing here, to say we do have rights. This guy 242 years ago said that we have these rights, and he was willing to stand up and say this is rights that we're willing to fight for. And we've tried all the various avenues. I've been in all these different groups, and people went to different congressmen and said, what about Dominion? And then we find out that they are owned by Dominion, and what are they supposed to say? And we found out that the National Park Service said that the Appalachian Trail was on private property where it was crossing up there, and we were like, well, that's not true. And we went up there with surveyors, and I finally got a call from Mark Woods from he was the former chairman of or director of the Blue Ridge Parkway. He called me. I talked to him for an hour and a half, and he told me he was not going to allow the pipeline to cross up there. He has since been retired early. Same thing happened in the National Forest Service with Tom Speaks. He came out against the pipeline because he said this is not a good spot for it. Retired early. Some new person has been put in there. So the people who have stood up on behalf of what is right have disappeared. These various agencies have essentially been beheaded by, and this isn't political on one side or the other, because as you can recall, a lot of this started well long ago. This is a pipeline that's been in the works for 15 years. It's not a new thing. It's had Democrats and Republicans adamantly for it, as our local government attests to, and everybody else. They pay both sides, so it's not a Republican-Democrat issue. It is an issue of greed,
corruption,
and corruption on both sides. So, in the last governor's race, who should we vote for when both have been paid by, the one candidate that was coming out against it, Perrioli, didn't